lost a friend and a potential boyfriend in the mix. A relationship is brewing. A relationship, yeah, and it's about to. Mara, what would this channel be without a story time? Hey, happy Vlogmas. First of all, before I continue, the past few days I've been feeling so nostalgic, but that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is that I involuntarily found myself in a love triangle. I don't know if we should officially call it a love triangle, but you be the judge, you know. I am going to be doing my skincare. I really like how I filmed the previous video where I just did my skincare while I yapped about my life, and I'm gonna do it again today while I tell you what happened. This happened while I was still in South Africa, and I was in varsity, and I was heavily single. Before we get right into it, today I'm gonna be using this niacinamide gel cleanser. I rotate my products. I feel like that works best for me, so I don't use the same product for a very long time. I try to keep it between like a few weeks to like a month, then I change it into like a different product. And the top ingredients that I look for in all of my products are vitamin C, hyaluronic acid. It's mainly vitamin C and hyaluronic acid, but then your niacinamide and your, is it retinol? But yeah, vitamin C and hyaluronic acid, my main ingredients. Absolutely love them. They treat my skin really well. So I'm just gonna quickly wash my face before I get started. So backstory, ne? I met both of them at Vids. One of them, I need to give them names. Let's call one of them Shumaya. Let's call one of them Tonic, because I feel like he just went in, like you'll see why I would call him Tonic, because he just went there and he diluted the whole like situation and he just messed things up. You know how you have to add like tonic water to kind of decrease the intensity of some of your alcohol? That's exactly what he did. So I met Tonic first actually, because Tonic was, I got acquainted to Tonic via my sister because he was trying to get with my sister in first year. So then when that didn't work out, they became friends, and that's how I got to like know him, and then we got acquainted. So I met Shumaya at school. We were doing a project. We had a group for our project, like a WhatsApp group, and he took my number from the group and he decided to message me like privately, and he was like, hey, I hope you don't mind that I took your number from like the group. And he was cute, so I was just like, I don't mind, you know, I wonder what he's trying to say. And he was like really chilled via, you know, the DMs. We would just talk about random stuff, you know, like no sharing business. I'm not even gonna try and lie to you about that. Like, he didn't try anything. We would just like randomly talk, and you know, when we saw each other at school, it would just be a random hi, you know, how are you? And I can see that right now that it was a trap, because I got the biggest crush on this doesn't smell nice, oh my god, I got the biggest crush on Shumaya after that. Because like, you know, when you, I don't know, like when you connect with someone who's like really not like trying to get anything from the connection, it's like, this is really nice. It was really nice. I was enjoying it. That's how I met both of them. This whole thing happened in a span of like, I want to say a few months. So with Shumaya, I obviously got the crush, and you know, we started spending time with each other. He would come to my res, I would go to his res and stuff like that. He had this thing that, you know, now that I'm older, I realized that it was such a dick move. He would sometimes lead me on, and then, you know, like when it was, this burns like a bitch, okay, hoping my skin is going to be renewed after this, because wow. Okay, so with Shumaya, he had this thing where, you know, like we would, you know, like chill, talk, do whatever. And then it just got to a point where like he would lead me on from like time to time, and then after like leading me on, he would kind of start pulling away. And you know how as a teenager, like now in my mid-20s, I understand what's going on and I don't have time to play that game. But before, you are still new to this, you don't really understand what's going on. So for the most time, it's just like, oh, okay, he is pulling away. Did I do something wrong? Am I doing something wrong? Like, what's going on? So he would do that, and then what he would do after that, most of the time, like he would disappear when it's like test season, exam season. And it's understandable because we're just trying to survive the Wits Edge. If you know the Wits Edge, everyone is just trying to survive. And then it would get to a point where like he disappears, you try to speak to him, he's cold, he's not speaking to you, he's being a bitch, he's being a dick. And then after a while, because when it happens, most of the time you're not conscious. I tend to be very empathetic. I'm not sure if that's the word that I should be using, but then from time to time, if you start behaving in a not so normal way, I am going to obviously ask you, because like it got to a point where I was like, from time to time when he would start doing that, I would obviously not realize what he was doing, and then I would just be like, hey, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Like starting the conversations, going through the motions of someone literally icing you out, and it would just be a nightmare. So it just got to a point where like from time to time I would realize, oh, this is what's happening, and then I would just leave him alone. And then maybe after like a few weeks or like after a few months, he would come back and act like nothing happened. He would be like, hey, how are you? Hey, I'm good. How have you been? And then from time to time also, he would say, listen, I'm so sorry about that. Like school stress gets to me, I let it get to me. So sometimes I end up like icing the people that are close to me out. I'm sorry about that. And at this point, when you're a teen, as a teenager, at this point, you're just like understanding. Ooh, guys, I feel like I still have that namanje, but I'm trying to get rid of it because it's not helpful. If you are an understanding person, you are going to have a difficult time navigating your way through this life, because people will use that to their advantage and they will take advantage of that quality. Most people are just like dicks when it comes to this whole thing. I used to be that person. I feel like it has decreased a bit now, but like at that point I used to understand even like the worst of the worst situations. And if I were to tell you about them right now, you would never look at me the same. You'd be like, Aibo Mtase, what do you mean you were understanding when it comes to this? Why? The highs would be very high, the visiting each other, the being soft with each other, and you would see that's also like, I feel like he kind of got off on that, because like the highs would be so high, and then when you're on the verge and you're like, yeah, I'm right, like yabonje manje, a relationship is brewing, and it's about to, then he would pull the plug, and then you're like, what's going on? How the whole thing started was that it was during one of those weeks, because we would have like, most of the time we would have that week where you're like, okay, mind you, ne? Obviously I'm young, dumb, and broke at this point. So at that point, I was just trying to, I don't know, I think I was trying to create something with him, or like get into something with him. I don't know, because I guess it's just that thing of like chasing something or like someone that I won't say you can't have, but yeah, chasing something or someone that doesn't want you. I think I was doing that at that point, chasing someone that didn't want me back, and I was investing so much of my energy and my time and my resources into the whole thing. So it was during one of those weeks where we are like, okay, things are happening, like we are seeing each other, it's all lovey-dovey, it's so cute. And I remember we were in negotiations. Guys, I don't like Tonic for what he did. He literally from the scene. So what had happened was, we were in talks we're in negotiations that, listen, do you want this? Like, is this something that you want? If you want this, and at this point, I am the type of person who is going to, accept what you're putting on the table because I want you. So if you're like, hey, you have to sleep on the roof for the entire week, I'm gonna do it.
Fuck.
Because I was locked in and I was just chasing this person. So I remember we're in negotiations, we're in talks. He was like, okay, is this something that you want? Because I am not gonna lie to you, I also want this. And I was like, oh, that's good to know. And I was like, oh, okay, like where do we get to the I do parts, right? So then he's like, these are some of the things that I think we should do before we even conclude these negotiations. And I'm obviously not gonna mention like the stuff because it's like personal, man, like just personal. But we spoke about it and I was really excited because I'm like, oh my gosh, your girl is about to bag the cute guy that she has always liked.
That is not correct.
Then he asked me, because he had a way of being like cryptic with like some stuff or like some information. I remember at some point he was like, is there someone that you like other than me? Or is there someone that you want other than me? And I was like, what do you mean? As far as I know, like, I like you and I want you, Also, I forgot to mention, me and Tonic were from like the same hometown. When we were home for the holidays or for the weekend, we lived really, really close to each other. So we would sometimes go out for drinks together, which was like one of the things that I liked about going home, because I didn't have friends from around the block. When we were both at home, we would literally be like, hey, do you want to go out for a drink? And we would go and buy drinks and we would have so much fun. He was such a fun guy to be friends with, which is why like it just pissed me off when he decided to pull the stunts that he did. Ne? Fine, kungabi namsebenzi. I remember we were in the middle of like doing one of the things that we said we wanted to do, we need to take care of before we decide to like jump in and like, I don't know, be official or like date or whatever. That was such a stupid thing though, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I feel like I was just being strung along the entire time and he actually didn't mean that. He was just trying to play games, but I digress. So he asks me, he's like, do you have someone that you are trying to get with? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm literally right here with you right now. Why would we be having this conversation if I wanted someone else, right? The actual thing, like the actual shits and not gigs, but the actual shit hitting the fan happened in a span of a week. Like we had been spending time during the week, and then I remember I was just leaving school because my man is trying to prep the future for us, and he's just trying to make sure that things tlakatlakan before we get together. Like, what do you mean? I'm just so happy, I'm elated, I'm over the moon, I'm having so much fun. I feel like school is going well, and because we were in a situationship, if we're being honest at this point, because what we were doing, my situationship is going really, really well and I'm having so much fun. Then by the gate I see Tonic and he's like, hi, how are you? I'm good. Yes, there's something that I've always wanted to talk to you about. And I'm like, what is that? He's like, no, I can't tell you now, but I can, come visit you, come to your room and talk to you about it. And I'm like, okay, what is this about? Is it something serious? He's like, it is serious for me, but it probably wouldn't be serious for you. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm gonna use this Thayer's Witch Hazel toner. So I'm like, kwanzakalan? I could sense ukuthi this is going to be some bullshit and I'm going to be pissed by what he's like trying to do, because for a while, as much as we hang out and we have fun, we drink together, we talk, like he's a cool person and we are cool with each other, but sometimes like you can see when like someone is like, yeah, like I don't know. Do you think it would be bad if we would be like, I don't know, you know, like I don't know. And I would just always be like, hey, that's it. Me, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in like Mjolo. Obviously, I was lying. You know, I couldn't like outright say, hey, I am, you know, like I want, cause I didn't mention this. They were not friends when I met them individually. They became friends in a few months or like a year. Because I think at some point they were sharing a class and that's how they got acquainted. They probably were in a group together, like one of those group projects together. Then they got acquainted with each other. Then they became like actual friends. They would actually hang out together. So that's why when this one would be like, so, you know, I'd be like, I don't want to tell you that I actually like your friend because I really like what we have, you know? He's like, can I come see you? I'm gonna come see you. And then he asked, it happened on this, like on the same day. We saw each other at school. He's like, okay, I'm gonna go back to rest and then I'm gonna come to you after. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he came over and then he's like, I'm gonna ask you like this question, please be honest. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, do you like any of my friends? And I was like, do you want the truth or do you want the truth that has been scientifically engineered, you know? I obviously was like, where is this going? Why are you asking me this question? I'm actually lying. He led with, I like you and I cannot pretend that, you know, like I'm your friend and we drink and I think you're an amazing person. I like you and I want to be with you. Right? And I was like, God, why? Guys, I need to understand the science behind this. Like, why is it always like the people that we don't want that like want us, and the people that we actually want, they don't want us? Because he was like, hey, na kia hubatla, I want you, and you know, we have so much fun when we're together, and I want to like turn this into an actual thing. Can we turn this into an actual thing? And I was like, and he was like, wait, do you like one of my friends? And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, do you like, because I don't remember what I said. I'm not sure if I said I'm not like ready for a relationship, or if I said, I don't remember what I said, but it was just like, I was just like trying to buy myself some time to think about the shit that is about to happen. Because honestly, then after that I was given the ultimatum. You know, I like being the jokester when situations get tough. In the middle of this thing, I'm literally just trying to crack jokes and I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? And he's like, I'm actually serious. Like, I want us to be together. I want us to date, you know? And I was like, I don't know if I can give you that. Then he was like, so why can you not give me that? Is it because you like one of my friends? And I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, do you like one of my friends? It's just a yes or no question. And I'm like, but I don't even know all of your friends, you know? And then he started counting. He was like, these are my friends. I think it was like 5 of them. These are the people that are closest to my heart. Do you like one of them? And I couldn't say, yeah. I probably could have said yes, because obviously I'm older now, Sibadala. But at that point, I was like, okay, if I say yes, there is the probability, there's a higher probability, higher chance that I lose both of them. Because I could say yes, I like one of your friends, and then he's like, because obviously at some point he was like, if you like one of my friends, then we cannot be friends anymore. And now looking back, I can see why. Because why would you want to be friends with someone that you actually like? You hang out with them a lot and they are in a relationship with your friend. Like, we can't be together alone, you know? But at that point, I didn't think about that. I was just like, you're trying to shut this really nice relationship down, and I don't like that. So in my head, I just wasn't thinking about the other thing. I was just like, you know what? This is a very threatening situation. I don't like it, you know? So obviously, I tried to keep the response as ambiguous as possible. I was just like very mysterious, and I was like, no, there's nothing like that, you know. And then I'm going to follow up with this vitamin C suspension with hyaluronic acid on top. I tried to be like very mysterious with like my answer, and then obviously he kept going on. He was like, I'm so serious, like I can see that you're trying to be like all jokey, but I am so fucking serious right now. If you like one of my friends, it's best for you to tell me, because if you are doing something, oh yes, he said it like that. He was like, are you doing something? Are you doing something? Oh, you know why I try to be mysterious? Let me tell you the real reason why, because I just remembered. The real reason why I didn't say anything and I tried to be mysterious, and I was just like, you know, like, I don't know, what do you think? It's because as soon as he said, are you doing something with one of my friends? I was like, shit, he knows something. Then I asked him, I was like, what do you know? And then obviously he admitted, he was like, I know something. And I was like, but you have to tell me so that I can confirm. He was like, I'm not gonna tell you who told me what. Like, I'm not gonna tell you, but you have to tell me. If you're doing something with one of my friends, then we are gonna have to stop, because it doesn't look good, you know. Even if it's like so innocent, we just go out drinking, we talk, we have fun, but it doesn't look good. So if you are involved with one of my friends, I need this to stop, you know. And I was like, oh shit. We talk. He was like, here's my proposition, think about it. I don't want to be your friend anymore. I want to be more than that. And if I can't have that with you, then unfortunately, it's the end of the road for us, okay? So fine, he leaves. Ne? Now, remember when I told you that if I admit that I'm doing something with your friend, I'm obviously going to lose both of them? Guess what happened? I lost the both of them. Was it later that day or was it the following day? Because we spoke, then he left, he gave me the ultimatum. He was like, choose me or you can't have me even as a friend. Bye. Then I text this one. I'm like, what have you done? He's like, what do you mean? I actually need to see you and I need to talk to you right now. And I'm like, what do you mean? He says to me, did he say he's gonna come over or did I go to him? I don't really remember the logistics, because at this point I am having a meltdown, like I'm having an anxiety attack, because remember, as like I said before, like this is something that I had wanted. I've had a crush on this person for like a while now. I've liked this person for a while now, and now that we are in the brink of like being something to each other, it's like now it's gonna get taken away. Hey, so we meet, right? We meet. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Because he's like, why didn't you tell me that you want tonic? I'm like, huh? He's like, why didn't you tell me that you want tonic? I'm like, what do you mean? Mercy, I thought we had an understanding that me and you, we are in the wanting of each other. Like, what do you mean now? Since it's daytime, I'm gonna add some sunscreen. I should get like a cream sunscreen, but I really like how this smells, hey? So I usually just spray it on my hands, and it also treats my face well. I'm not sure if it's because I combine it with other products or if it's just because, you know, it's sunscreen. But yeah, so I'm done with my skincare for now. Let me actually continue with the story and let you go. So I'm like, Aibo, what do you mean? Because, you know, it's been evident that I like you, you know. He's like, no, but like, why didn't you tell me that you wanted him? And now he's trying to be cryptic again. I am so confused, because what do you mean? He doesn't tell me what happened. I asked him what happened, because what I know is that he came to me and he asked me if I was doing something with one of his friends, and I obviously didn't say anything because number one, it's none of his business. Number two, I didn't tell him, that number two was because, because we are friends. I don't want you to terminate our relationship over that. So, I know I was being messy. So then he doesn't tell me. He doesn't say, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. He just treats it as, but like, why didn't you tell me that you wanted to be with him? We texted before we met. So some of the things that I'm telling you right now are things that were said like via text. Because I remember I texted him and I was like, if I wanted him, then why would I be spending so much time with you? Like, make it make sense. And he was just like, ngiyakuzwa, but I don't hear you. So it just got to a point where we were just like fighting over. And then I told him that like literally this whole argument is over nothing, because I'm literally begging you right now to tell me what happened, and you're not telling me what happened. And that was just him being loyal, I guess, to his friend or whatever. But it literally like ended there. It never even developed, it never marinated, it never brewed. There was nothing. Like, it literally, nothing came out of that whole thing. It literally ended before it started. And guess what happens? Because I remember he was like, I'm gonna need an answer tomorrow. Remember, he was like, hey, I need you to choose me or leave me alone. And he was like, I'm gonna need an answer tomorrow. Then the following day, June, July, like I'm literally, like I'm shaking because this fell through. And now I have this part that I was told that if you don't vuma me, then forget about the friendship, okay? So he's like, hey, let me know, because he was like, I'm gonna come back here tomorrow, and when I come back, you better have a straight answer or you lose everything. When I come back here tomorrow, I want to be your boyfriend, or I'm not even going to be your friend, okay? When he texts me, I start making up a story in my head. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tell him that I'm not ready for a relationship. You know what's finishing me right now? It's how stupid everything was, because we were kids, and I was literally shitting my pants, because I was just like, guys, how does something like this happen to me? Like, did I do something wrong in my past life to deserve this? Fine. He texts me, he's like, let me know when you are around. I am free now. I'll come over and we will finish our conversation from yesterday. And I was like, okay, come over. I already have like my story straight that, listen, I like you, but we can't be together because I'm not ready for a relationship, right? And I obviously still was not gonna tell him that I am doing something with one of his friends. I still wasn't gonna share that, because obviously it's none of his business. Like, there's no, yes, we are friends, we share, we talk, but I feel like that part is just no. I wasn't gonna share that, right? Fine, he comes over. Guess what happens? When he comes over to me, he is like, actually, never mind. I just got into a relationship. I have a girlfriend now, and I need you to understand that, yeah, even though like we are not together, like we still can't be friends, because I have to respect my girl. Guys, I was relieved because someone else is dating him. I don't have to do that. That's fine. But the way things changed after that, things just really changed. And I understand, like, you can't be, this whole thing of like female and male besties is a bit tricky. So I understand why he was like trying to protect his relationship by not continuing with our relationship. This story is very, very long. I can continue this in like another part and like tell you about like extra things, because a lot happened like after that. People got their hearts broken. People did things with people that they shouldn't have done things with. A lot happened, But like for now, I'm gonna end it right here. What I'm gonna say right now is that we stopped being friends for a while. And at some point, because like what we had was like really good. we literally fell back into the whole routine of like meeting up and drinking, and it got to a point where we would be very honest with each other when we were like drinking. That's another thing that I really loved about our relationship. We would listen and not judge, you know, like what's going on right now. It's not new to me. We would like literally say, okay, I did this and this and that, and this is what happened. And a lot of things were admitted, which is something that I can also share in the next video, that this is what happened. So if you want a part 2, obviously leave a comment down below and like the video. And obviously with Shumaya, obviously he didn't tell me what happened at first, but like months after, when we spoke about it again, and please ask me what I was still doing speaking to this man after he left me on red like that. Fine, we spoke, and I remember at one point we were just talking about the whole situation, and we were just like joking about it. I asked him like what actually happened. Then he said, I think he had told him that he was interested in starting something with me. He actually liked me, and he said he liked me, and he was like, okay, since I'm your friend and I love you very much, I don't know, like, do you want to shoot your shot? You can have her, like, I don't mind. So that's how the whole thing actually started, because it was so random of like him to just stop me and be like, hey, can I speak to you later? I really need to tell you something. And then it started making sense when he was like, yeah, he told me that he actually liked you. And when he told me that he actually liked you, I was like, okay, then what are we doing? And then I got mad all over again, because I was like, dude, how did you mess this up before it even started over something that literally wasn't even there? There was nothing there, and you guys just decided that I was the bad one, and you guys decided to cut me out. So that's what happened. I ended up finding out that Tonic and Shumaya, they did speak about me, and Tonic was like, I actually like her, and Shumaya was like, if you want her, like, I don't mind stepping aside and like go get your girl, something like that. It doesn't end there, but that's like the end of like how I kind of found myself in like a love triangle. I don't know, you be the judge. Was it a love triangle? Or not? Maybe I'm being delusional, but just let me know if you want me to continue, because a lot happened. At some point I did end up dating Shumaya. We were together, but it was like years later. So this is like very long. So if you need another part, I'm very happy to share. I lost a friend and a potential boyfriend in the mix. If you enjoyed the story, please like the video and leave a comment down below if you want like a part 2. If you have questions or whatever, just leave a comment down below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Like my shit. Check my other videos out, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.